Welcome to this June issue of Lunch and Learn. Today's going to be an interesting topic where we talk about HVAC code and gas valves and that sort of thing. Always a question about how far can you go as a HVAC technician when you're installing a new furnace. Of course, Tony Woodard, Chief Inspector for the state, is here. Hey, Tony, how's it going, sir?
All right. How are you today?
Doing good. One of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did is talk just a little bit about the Arkansas Department of Labor and Licensing.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you put that slide up there. We want to be ahead of the curveball when we're moving into our ELP, which is going to be the electronic licensing program, kicking off somewhere around September 1. We roll it out July 1 for all the electrical license. We did a dummy run, and how this is going to work is by the current email address. And when we did our dummy run, we had about 8,000 kickback. They weren't current email addresses. So what I'm asking our guys to do is go to our website, labor.arkansas.gov, labor spelled all the way out, .arkansas spelled all the way out, .gov. And on that homepage, when you open it up on the lower left side, you will see where it says HVACR. And you can, there's a section on there to renew a license, and right below it is a section to change the address. There'll be 4 blocks that we need that'll have a mandatory little red dot need filled in. We need your current email address. This will be A, B, C, D, E, and all registrants, because how we're going to renew license from now on will be through email. We'll email you the month yours is going to expire. When you pay, it'll instantly send you your license. You will be keeping your license on your phone.
You may recall several years ago, we used to send out a newsletter about 4 times a year. This goes back several years, but money started getting tight and the cost of sending things out via snail mail was just too expensive. Well, now then, everybody's got an email address, and this is going to allow all of our industry to stay current with everything that's coming down the pike. I think it's a fabulous thing.
It will. It'll keep anybody in the loop that wants to be. Yeah.
All right. We wanted to do, before we got into the issue of gas, we've had, 2 months or so here where we've been talking about 90 plus furnaces and what to do with the condensate. We thought we had it all taken care of, but we had a little snafu, and Rick Mahan over at the plumbing department gave us a couple of drawings.
Yes, sir. And he straightened it out for us. We actually, Aaron Shaw actually got an ICC opinion, and they did refer back to us and said that maybe in the future, when the plumbing department updates the latest plumbing code, if they don't change the amendments, we might be able to do something in the attic with a hub bearing. But where we are is where we are right now. And this is what the plumbing department has advised and will pass. The 2-box situation or the 1. Either way, we're taking care of the coma. We'll work with this, and we are strictly talking heat. The Cat 3 furnace drain. This is the water that comes off of the furnace in the wintertime, not adding the condensate drain off the evaporator, just the furnace, which makes the water during freezing temperatures. This is a situation we can resolve the freezing up.
And Tony, this is tying into that washer box for your washing machine. The
Yes,
other thing about this is that this is primarily going to be new construction. It's not going to work for retrofit.
Correct. Total new construction, unless it's a total gut remodel and you're redoing plumbing in that situation, which is basically like new construction. Yes.
But if you're building a new house, you really ought to consider that 90 plus furnace. That everything is going that direction, and we appreciate Rick and Aaron down there for helping us to come up with a plan where a person can install a 90 plus furnace and hopefully eliminate that freezing problem.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're ready to get into the subject of who can run what on gas piping. And we start off by talking about the law.
Yes, sir. The law, our law that was passed during 91, we started implementing in 93. The statute has been clear. Once we moved to the Department of Labor, Mr. Moore has done an outstanding job straightening up language. And we are doing a new rules right, but this is not a change. This is actually the statute that was passed from 91, 93. And the statute that we're about to pull up on the slide, it's clear that a Class A, Class B licensed contractor or his registrants can do some gas fitting work on retrofit in the job and the scope of the work. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. If I say an RTU, rooftop package unit, and it's 20 years old, and for some reason we got to do a curb adapter. You've ordered a York, can't get a York to match up with the returns and the direction. You have to flip the footprint around. You might have to move the gas from right to left. This gets above a length limit that some people were accepted in the industry as all they could do. That's not the fact. They can run this pipe if it's a 5 footer, 7 footer, another 7 footer to get into the package unit. Their license allows them to do that. They can run this gas pipe. We do need to have it pressure tested and check for leaks, but they can do it without causing an undue cost to the consumer for having to hire a master plumber to come run that gas pipe. Now, I want to make this clear. We are not talking about these heating and air guys on new construction starting to run gas pipe. The plumber's going to be there on new construction doing all the plumbing. They'll do the gas pipe as well. These are mainly retrofit situations.
And, you know, one of the things that you mentioned that I like is that it saves time, because if all of a sudden you've got to wait on somebody to schedule in their time to come out and take care of it, that can cost a heck of a lot of money on the job. And we're talking retrofit. Can also create a heck of a lot of inconvenience, because if you're replacing a furnace, my goodness, those people need heat right then. With dead of winter, you know, they need that HVAC person to be able to move on, get the job done, and get people warm, whether we're talking commercial or otherwise. You know, a couple of weeks, maybe more ago, I had a contractor call and said, you know, it was his policy that anytime he put in a furnace, he also changed out the gas cock, that valve, because he said most of the time the ones he found had little bitty leaks in them, and he was concerned about being associated with something that would have a leak. And again, time-wise, he wanted to go ahead and be able to take care of it. And that's how I kind of got involved in it.
Right. And like the gas valve you're showing there, it actually has an old packing nut that you could tighten up and show. Some of the newer ones, some do, some don't. Some of the newers don't necessarily have a packing nut. You can change them, but you know, you go out on retrofit. If a gas is leaking at the valve, the heating and air contractor is certified to shut the gas off at the meter, replace the gas valve, turn it back on, make sure it's not leaking, and go back and light any pilots that were out because he disrupted the service. They are licensed to do this.
Okay, so that pretty much takes us through this particular slide, which is who can replace this valve.
And that's going to be both of those contractors right there can replace the valve.
For those fellas who say, hey, they'd like to be able to be a gas fitter, there's some pretty clear instructions from the plumbing department over there, what you've got to do. You don't have to become a plumber, but you can become a gas fitter. And the way I've got this laid out here, if you want to become a gas fitter, you start off as a trainee. You spend 2 years, and then you can apply to be a gas fitter. I've got to take an exam. So start off as a trainee, spend 2 years, go up to the gas fitter position, take the exam, pass that, and then spend a year as a gas fitter, and then become a supervising gas fitter.
A lot of steps.
Yeah, there is. But, you know, again, if you're running, you know, gas pipe all the way back to the meter, and you're going to be licensed to just run gas pipe anywhere you want to, you kind of need to have some experience more than just, you know, going at the gas valve there. But, you know, and you need to contact the plumbing department over there to find out what all the rules are. This is the way I understand them.
Yes, sir.
That brings us back to plumber or HVAC.
Both individuals.
Quick and to the point.
Yep.
And that comes as a result of our law that we talked about in the very beginning there, passed back in 1991.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
So it's been there like this, just like we're seeing now, for 21 years, 20 years.
Yeah, it's been there. Yeah, a long time, several years. And we're not, I want to bring the point out that any city municipality can be more stringent than the state code. This is the minimum. If they want to pass an ordinance that states only plumbers, master plumbers can do any type of gas work, then they can do so. We just need a copy of the ordinance to have on file so we can inform said contractor that in this municipality, you will or will not be able to do it.
And that's the title on this particular slide says your local inspector. If you've got any questions, contact your local inspector and be his partner in making sure that everything's done according to code and done according to their law. You never win when you try to go around an inspector, because everything is going to be seen eventually.
Yes, sir.
All right. Every month we invite people to give questions, compliments, or complaints. If you have questions, compliments, or complaints, code-related issues, call 501-682-9201. What are they going to find out when they call her, Tony?
That's mainly a recording for the consumer to leave, or the heating and air contractor. And Miss Amanda Williams will, she runs checks till 2 o'clock. So I'm glad you asked this point. If you call before 2, it's going to go to the answer machine, because she is strictly running checks. And you got to understand, she is a one-person entity, which used to be 5. She's handling all 16,000 plus licensing by herself. So when you do call that number, she might pick it up after 2, but if it's before 2, it will leave a message after 2 o'clock. She addresses all these and gets messages out and reaches back to folks.
So be patient. They will get around to it.
Yes, sir.
Next month on July the 12th.
Yes, sir.
Got that taken care of, Tony.
Yes, sir.
The reason we're laughing is because I frequently put down the wrong date. I always get the second Monday right, because that's a template, but with changing dates is sometimes a little hard for me. Tony, thanks a bunch. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate everything that the Department of Labor and Licensing is doing to reach out there and connect to the industry. We really do consider ourselves to be partner with you guys. Thanks again. Appreciate you, Tony.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.